Hi, welcome to Mrs. Patterson's Homework Help. We are on Chapter 5, Lesson 5 for Math, and today we're going to be going over how to solve multi-step problems. Often in math, it's not a simple thing as, what's 2 plus 2? It's 4. No, you usually have a complicated math problem where there's all different types of things to solve and then you put together to get the answer. And that's all it is. So you have to remember, hey, there's more than one way to solve this problem, and looking at all the different components and then being able to put them together. So I'm going to focus mainly on this homework helper question and walk you through the steps so that you have the tools that you need to solve the other problems. Okay, so a store had 3 baskets. Each basket had 62 necklaces. In the morning, 25 necklaces were sold. In the afternoon, some necklaces were returned. At the end of the day, there were 166 necklaces. How many necklaces were returned? So we need to figure out that problem. And I'm always big on drawing pictures. And if you need to say, okay, I have 3 baskets and each had 62 necklaces in it, this gives you a visual of what's going on. And you can see that, hey, maybe, you know what? That's like a multiplication problem, isn't it? And that's what they're showing us here, 3 times 62, because we do need to find out how many necklaces there were from the beginning. So we know then that we sold, so it's a subtraction, 25 necklaces, okay? Now, we know that some necklaces were returned. That means those necklaces came back into the store, so we're adding those necklaces back in because somebody didn't like the necklace or the gift they bought they didn't like. So we know some came back to the store. So we're adding those back into the inventory or the total of the store. Do we know how many? No. So we use N. We use a variable. We put a letter in there that stands for what we don't know. But we do know that in the end, we came out with 166 necklaces at the end of the day. So our first step is we really want to multiply 62 times 3 to find out how many necklaces we started with. Easy enough. So 62 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6, and this is 18. So we have 186 necklaces. We know we sold 25 from that, and we got some back, and now we have 166. So we really need to figure out this problem. We really need to figure out the take away 25. Okay, so I'm subtracting 25 from 186 because I know I sold that many. And so we should have what? 161 necklaces. Okay. Some came back into the store. Now I have 166. So how do I figure that out? Well, you could use mental math and say, hey, I know I can count up to 166. So 161, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. So I know 5 more necklaces came back into the store. So N equals 5. And the total that we had at the end of the day is 166. Or you could have taken 166, taken out the 161, and also gotten 5 that way. Either way works. But it seems simple enough to me to count up to get to the 166. It was a simple, I can see that it was only a little bit of difference. So they sold 25, but actually 5 of them came back. They sold basically 20 necklaces that day because you take out that 5. Okay? Okay, so they're going to give you other multi-step problems. Draw pictures, work it out, count backwards, subtract. Does your answer make sense? That's all really important when you're doing multiple step problems. On the back, they're giving you 3 other problems. They're giving you a vocabulary check, and I'll go over that one, and then some testing practice. Let's go over the vocabulary check because I always like to make sure we always know what's going on there. So label each part of the equation, right, operation, or variable. Okay, so we know that those are the 2 terms that we're talking about. N and R are actually the variables. They are the letters. They are what we really don't know what those are. And this subtraction, that's our operation. That's what we do. We add, subtract. And what are the operations? Subtraction, adding, multiplication, and division. Okay? All right, go ahead and try to solve this problem as well. And I've got a little bit of a challenge today. I want you to make your own multi-step problem and solve it. Leave a variable in there, leave an unknown that you need to solve for yourself. And even if you know the answer and work backwards, that's fine too, or work forwards, however you want to do it. But make your own multi-step problem. And maybe we'll be able to share them out in class the next day.